Hello everyone, again, I am sorry, I haven't put them up again, and I know, but I was doing homework today, so just bear with me guys. I know you're probably going to see 3 of these all pop up at the same time and be like, what the hell? But just bear with me, okay? It'll get up eventually, hopefully. Oh god. Where was I last? I don't remember. Oh god. Oh, white run. Perfect. That's actually exactly what I needed. Where's this marker going? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to start doing some of these some of the quests. Alright, so we are going to start with the main quest.
And understanding of your as such, the counter regulation notes simplicity. Effective fire support for the
Oh, perfect. Daytime. I've been spotted. Don't know how, don't know by who, but oh,
shows himself outside of cover. The high new weapons grab the enemy inside behind the cover.
Oh, he's good. But I am better. Well, oh shit, maybe not. Ah, victory is mine.
Once friendly infantry begins swiftly attacking, focus switches is free infantry. Additionally, targets slow down the attack engagement as well. Engaging them with concentrated fire is key to sustaining the momentum of the attack. Shortly before the friendly infantry achieves penetration into the enemy line, it might be necessary to engage enemy targets at the point of penetration. Hereby it is important to use concentrated fire. As such, it might be necessary for the commander to draw temporary artillery support with units.
Oh, almost.
Additionally, it is crucial that the
lol.
targets friendly penetration from the left or the flanks. It's important that the artillery continues to support the line. As enemy artillery enforcing the depth needs to be engaged, any targets that might slow down the infantry must be engaged with concentrated fire as well. This will usually be done before the observers from the batteries are cached. So before we conclude this video, let us look at an example for a battery position and a firing position for the gun. Let's begin with the battery position. Here would be the location of our infantry, slightly behind the forward observation point is located on our example. Further to that was the main observation.
Okay. We will take all of that. And we'll take that and that. Yeah, let's do it.
So in case one was out of action, the operations could proceed only minor interruption. Now, how would an individual gun be well likely on its bloodline? One example given is the following. The area of the gun should be around 5 meters wide and 6 meters in length. The position would be about 0.4 meters deep. The trenches would be 1.25 meters on the left and 1.1 meter on the right side. Additionally, the wooden locations for elevations at various points located on the right side with dugouts for personnel movements located on the left. The estimated man hours were 110 hours, so 22 hours, 5 men. The crucial element for artillery was of course camouflage. It's always before the principle of however, camouflage must never take precedence over effect. This means actual combat activity of troops must never suffer under camouflage consideration. To summarize, the main role of the artillery was to support the infantry and more tanks. To achieve this goal, a deep understanding of the strength and weaknesses of different arms was required. Similarly, during combat, key and constant communication was paramount. Since the activity of both weapons, infantry and artillery, cannot be separated temporarily and spatially.
Yeah, forget it.
Artillery battalion can also furthermore, each artillery battery one or more foreign observers. No, this was just a first glance at German artillery work.
Should just let him die, but where's fun in that?
Like my work, consider supporting the PayPal Patreon or subscribe stuff. Thank you to all my supporters and allow me
Snake, dolphin, or whale.
As always, there is in the description. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Jones only delivers within 5 minutes of the store, and not farther. It's nothing personal. It's an address sandwich.
Oh. Thank you. Next.
Star Wars lost its way in the 90s and noughties, whether it was the bloated plot, midichlorians, Jar Jar, Anakin, Jar Jar, pretty much everything about episode 6, also Jar Jar. But one of the worst crimes against the franchise came from the 1997 remaster. George Lucas made quite a few mistakes in his pursuit to update the story with a mashup of CGI. But the most egregious has to be this scene featuring a new introduction to Jabba the Hutt. And by new, I mean that it was deleted from the original cut. If you thought Jabba looked awkwardly pasted into this scene, he's right. That's because the original scene predated the idea of Slug Jabba and featured Declan Mulholland as a black pilot. Because of that, it's pretty obvious how the CGI has been composed to work around the bodily differences between humans and Hutts, including this shoddy moment where Han steps on his tail. So, whether you're a fan of the new films or not, just be glad you're definitely missed. Number 9, Air Force One. The mid-1990s was the heyday for Hollywood blockbusters. There's Independence Day, Jurassic Park, Point Break, Speed, the list could go on forever. Political thriller Air Force One sits firmly in that canon, and to this day, it still stands up as a pretty highly regarded film. Certified fresh, I would say. US President Donald Trump even considers it one of his favourite films because Harrison Ford stood up for America. The film follows Ford as President of the United States. It takes on terrorists after hijacking the British plane, hence the title. But despite all the stuff it has going for it, this one major flaw is pretty hard to overlook. According to Richard Edlund, the film's visual effects supervisor, unrealistic demands on other parts of the film meant that they had nowhere near enough time to make the second scene. As a result,
Seeing as how I already knew that he was going to run off as soon as he got let go, I just went ahead and said screw it. And
with superheroes and the almost always top-ball to state-of-the-art special effects. But long before Endgame, long before The Dark Knight, and a little bit before Spider-Man, there was Spawn. This relic of 1997 saw a murdered Black Ops soldier sell his soul to the devil so he could see his family again in exchange for leading arms to hell, which he doesn't do. Obviously, he's the hero of the story. That's all well and good, except for the fact that pretty much nothing in the film is anywhere near well and good.
Bitch.
In fact, pretty much every element on the plot, the screenplay, is rubbish. But by far the worst aspect is the CGI, with this LCD scene. As you can see, the background looks like it was rendered on an NC4,
shit.
and the devil looks like it is under shower. According to panels on pages, legend has it that the VFX team ran out of money and got the job done using a model from American werewolf in Paris. Well, werewolf or not, it scared me right off. Number 7, I Am Legend. 2006's I Am Legend is a pretty tragic film. And no, I'm not talking about the scene with the dog. Sorry to talk about that. I'm talking about the tragedy of starting so well and poorly. For the first act of the film, we see Will Smith find his way in a tent for both worlds to each other. The source of what was hiding in the dark, and then see them. Translucent-looking CGI models stretched over both of the captain's suits. That's not to mention the abysmal final act, where Smith looks like he's under siege and angry touch his stomach. But that almost wasn't the case. According to director Francis Lawrence, the plan was to use practical makeup effects and their super capabilities to save by dancers and ballrooms. Unfortunately, that didn't quite achieve what they wanted. Humans don't have super capabilities, so they had to go back to the drawing board at the 11th hour. Lawrence says that shit meant that it had barely any time to get the desired result. And so. Number 6, Black Panther. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that the 2018 blockbuster with a $200 million budget looks like absolute garbage. Just what? For all of Ryan Coogler and Marvel's accomplishments with this movie, from the casting to the social impact, there are some parts of the story of Wakanda that...
Oh, hi.
For one thing, the rhinos look like they've been pasted in. I mean, would anyone call that lit? But worst of all, the underground fight between T'Challa and Killmonger really does look like two proof of concept models shooting it out. The reason such shoddy work comes from such an expensive project is that even $200 million can't cover the sheer amount of VFX that goes into the film. According to upcoming VFX movies, the number of VFX shots in modern movies has more than doubled between 1,000 and 2,000 since the start of the century. That means that even with a dozen companies working on Black Panther CGI, the whole process was squeezed and left VFX artists submitting unfinished work to deadlines. Number 5, The Lawnmower Man. Pretty much as soon as Stephen King writes something, the film industry falls over itself to make it onto the adaptation. Master of Horror, that is. Now, there are lots of ways that can go, but no adaptation has ever been handled quite like 1992's The Lawnmower Man. Originally a pretty sparse lawnmower-related horror short, which is weird enough in itself, New Line Cinema's adaptation was an almost completely unrelated story about virtual reality with a few parting references to Tuesday attached, which he decided to pursue it. Even so, the CGI imagery involved in creating the VR landscape was pretty revolutionary for the time. But boy oh boy do they look funky now. I mean, just what is going on here? But I can't knock the film too hard. It went on to set the scene for discussions about virtual reality today. Not to mention that the VFX team went on to become video game studio Rockstar San Diego. So, it's good stuff. That said, then was on. Number 4, TPC. Shark movies are a particularly tough genre to get into as a filmmaker. Of course, there's Jaws, but the pickings have been split after that. So much so that 1999's TPC is one of the most successful movies in the genre. All in all, it's a pretty conventional movie-style flick. You know the story. Scientists mess with animal DNA to cure diseases, they go haywire and threaten to let themselves loose to the wider world. This time, it just happens to be dark. Even so, you would think an $82 million budget would lead to some high-quality shark scenes, and that's largely the case with the real animatronic animals used. But in one particular scene, Samuel L. Jackson meets a grisly fate at the hands of a CGI monstrosity. In seconds, we see the actor turn from a fully realized person to a crude digital mannequin in the mouth of a shiny grey blob of rubber. And it's the height of unnecessary effects. Just have him say, motherfucker, and pull him into the water. Don't die. Number 3, The Amazing Hulk. Everyone knows the Incredible Hulk, and some of you might remember the pretty rubbish effects in the 2003 standalone movie. Well, if you thought that was a visual effects failure, just wait until you see the amazing troll. According to director Louis Schoenbrunn, it was designed to be a real-life movie in a comic setting. He achieved that effect, he used the word achieved, by filming the entire movie in front of a green screen and using stock CGI throughout. This cinematic, not quite Marvel, astonishingly made in 2012 is supposedly current. However, it's not so clear that's actually the case when you watch it, since it's so poorly made, and you're left wondering what classifies as parody besides the kind of similar plot. But worst of all is the bulk itself. The titular monster spends a good deal of its screen time running in the same absurd way, almost like he's a little bit shy, whether it's knocking over cars in the city or evading helicopters. Yes. But hey, with such notoriety on a $14,000 budget, I bet it's no good. Number 2, Birdemic. When discussions come up about the worst film of all time, there are 2 flicks that are bound to make the list. The first is The Room, obviously. The other is Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Wait, the other is James Wynn's Birdemic Shock of Terror. Made exclusively at weekends by a software salesman, Wynn couldn't get his work shown at the Sundance Film Festival. So he drove around outside in a car, covered in fake blood, signs, and a plastic eagle to promote it. And apparently, it worked. This movie has a lot of problems, whether it's the script, the production quality, or the absolutely nonsensical plot. But the number 1 flaw has to be the visual effects. Throughout the feature, we see a flurry of flying things to torment the cast, but they don't look like real birds. They don't look like a bad attempt at real birds either. They just look like low-quality gifts. But hey, with a $10,000 budget and a great story behind it, I'll give it a try. Number 1, The Mummy Returns. If you were going to guess the contents of this video, I'd bet quite a bit of money that The Mummy Returns is on this list. It's not because of scenes like the chase through London or Himotep's face in the water, though they're pretty bad too. No, it's the singular fault of this CGI rendering of Dwayne The Rock Johnson as the Scorsese King. As soon as he appears from the audience, it's plainly obvious how badly he sticks out of the frame with his smooth rubber-like skin. He looks like he belongs in a cheap Pixar knockoff, not a live-action feature. It's just so off-putting. But in all fairness to this monstrosity, the reason it looks so awful is that it was trying to create a photorealistic human before the process of subsurface scattering existed. That's basically how animators make multi-layered surfaces like skin real. At least they realised not to animate the Scorpion King in the 5 solo movies. Probably because they used So that was the 10 worst CGI in movies. Which one do you think was the worst? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, go over to All Time Movies and find the 10 worst animations.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another GTA Online video. My name is SaintsFan, and today I want to take a look at the top 10 vehicles you should own in GTA Online in 2019. This is an updated list for these vehicles. I think I've made a similar video, which I'll leave a link to in the description, for either last year or even 2017. So this is definitely a needed upgrade considering all the new vehicles we have in the game. Some of those vehicles from that previous video are still here, but I think I sort of switched it up with a couple others that are a little bit more useful. Now this is just my opinion. If you guys have anything you want to add to it, let us know in the comment section. But getting us started with arguably the most useful vehicle in the game, the Oppressor Mark II. You should definitely own this. There's no question about it. It does cost a lot of money. You do need to go through a lot of steps to acquire it. You have to buy a nightclub, and you gotta buy a terabyte, but it is worth it. The fact that this is a bike that shoots missiles, that flies, that can be called instantly, I mean, what more could you ask for? This thing is the all-in-one vehicle, and you really don't need anything else. This thing will get you from point A to point B probably the quickest, because it can fly over all the terrain. You're not ever going to fall off of it, so you can kind of just not even pay attention while flying, and you'll be good. If anyone does decide to try and kill you or shoot rockets at you, you either have players or the chief chaff system, so you can counteract those flares or those missiles coming at you, and then you can shoot back because you have 20 missiles that you can shoot that are pretty damn deadly. They're not the most deadly in the game, but they are like one notch above. They will pretty much kill anyone you're shooting at. And the fact that, hey, if your vehicle does blow up, you can get it back within 15 seconds, if that. Quickly call Morse Mutual, call it back, call it through your interaction menu, and you're good to go again. This thing has it all. This thing is fast. It is pretty damn maneuverable. The one downside, most people might think you're a griefer when you're on it. So people are going to be pretty defensive when you go near them. But still, that's really not that big of a deal. Own the Oppressor Mark II and you'll be good. Moving into the second vehicle on my list, because GT Online is basically, or at least free roam, is basically a war zone now, you need an armored vehicle to get around if you don't want to have to worry about killing other people. In my previous video, I mentioned the Night Shark. And look, any of the armored vehicles are good. The Night Shark is definitely still good. But recently, I found love with the Insurgent Pickup Custom. This thing just is awesome. It can be customized actually at Benny's. Well, or maybe not at Benny's, but you can put Benny's customization on it, so that's cool. You can have 9 people in this thing. I don't know how many people actually have 9 friends that play GTA Live, but you can have 9 people, so that's a plus. You obviously have the armor on it. This thing takes like 28, 29 or something like that oppressor missiles, homing missiles. So you're basically never going to die in this thing. I mean, it's going to require like the entire lobby coming at you with Oppressor Mark IIs to kill you. And even then, you have the option of having a gunner so you can somewhat fight back. And unlike some other armored vehicles, you can actually shoot out of this one. The Insurgent Pickup Custom is just one of the best armored vehicles, and added to all the things I just mentioned, the fact that it is pretty quick, it handles pretty damn good for what it is, and it plows things out the way. You get a really fun vehicle for
Bear Moth Owl.
Third on my list, I have the Stromberg. Reason is because this is, I think, the only vehicle that is armored and has missiles. All the other vehicles are either armored or they have missiles, which means you either are playing defensive or you're only playing offense, and both of those have their negatives. The Stromberg is the middle. The Stromberg has the defense and it has the offense. Now they are a little pulled back, so it's not as crazy, but the Stromberg is great. It can withstand, I believe, 3 homing missiles, and it has, I think, 20 or 30 homing missiles to shoot back. And the homing missiles that it shoots are actually really good. Now there is a shorter distance you have to be to lock onto someone, but if someone's on an Oppressor Mark II and free roam, you have the option to take a couple of shots and then pick them off with your missiles. Also, it's a damn submarine car. That alone should be enough to have you purchase it, because it is just a lot of fun to drive off of cliffs into the ocean. You're like, oh, guess what? We're gonna die. No, we're not, because we have a car that can go underwater. So that's why the Stromberg is third on my list. Now, number 4, we have the Avenger. You could also maybe substitute the MOC or the Terabyte here, but I chose the Avenger because if you have a group of 2 or 3 people with you, the Avenger is just so much fun. Solo, it's definitely not that good, but if you have some people manning the guns, manning the flares, this thing is kind of unstoppable. It has a really good amount of armor, so you're gonna have to shoot this thing a couple of times, quite a lot actually, to take it down with rockets. You have the 2 or 3 cannons on it, which if a gunner is taking control of, they are really deadly. And then if someone's up in the passenger seat with you, you have the option of the flares now. So it's even harder for people to take you out. So this thing is a tank in the sky, and it's a lot of fun to go wrecking with in free roam. Now, 5th on the list, I have the Akula, because the Akula has one feature that is just so freaking awesome. The ghost mode. or the stealth mode. The Akula, when you go into the stealth mode, you don't appear on the map. No one can find you unless they see you. But if you're high up, because it's a helicopter, you can fly really high up, then they're not going to see you. And this thing does have some offensive capability. It has armor. It is really fun to fly. It's definitely one of the better helicopters in that regard. And because of all this, it's like kind of the perfect package. If you're doing missions,
This is some bullshit.
I believe this even hides the job icons on the map, so you can peacefully make your money that way. I believe it takes 3 homing missiles to blow it up. Again, you have the option of the barrage missiles, I think, or the homing missiles on it, so you have some offensive power. Plus, I think you have the cannons too. This was definitely on my list before, and it's on my list now because of that stealth feature. Now, number 6.
Hello. Okay. Why? Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. No. Okay. I'm just sitting here. Not really. Alright. Alright. Love you too. Bye.
And that is the rat truck, the upgraded rat truck. This thing is one of the fun vehicles.
Mother.
It costs a lot of money, or a decent amount of money, to upgrade it and put everything on it that you want. But it's just awesome. You have a ton of customization options to choose from. You have 3 different styles. You have a couple of different front options. You can go with the giant love fist if you want, but it's not really good. That's kind of mainly for show. I decided to go with the electric field because it's just hilarious to bump into people and constantly electrocute them. But this is one of the vehicles that I choose to use when I'm just driving around and I don't care about anything. And the reason is because nothing gets in this vehicle's way. Like, it plows everything out the way. Car, van, truck, it don't
Where's my bow?
It plows it out the way and it keeps on moving. I mean, you barely lose any speed when you hit other vehicles.
Where'd you go?
And that's just a ton of fun. Because we all know the NPCs, the NPC drivers in this game suck. They constantly get in your way. Use this car, you don't even need to worry about it. You just drive. Who cares what's in front of you? And add that to the fact that this thing has the new shunt boost option, so you can jump up in the air and then constantly keep jumping. And that's just so much fun to see how far you can go. I've actually heard people say they've gone from Mount Killian jumping in the air on this or with this car all the way to the airport. I don't know if that was true or not, but if that can be done, that's awesome. So the rat truck, the rat arena or vehicle definitely is a vehicle you should own. Out of all the arena vehicles, I think this one's the most fun. At number 7, I have the Scramjet. In my last video on this topic, I had the Vigilante in this sort of role because the Vigilante was a fun vehicle to use.
There we go.
Jet
Got it.
and all that. But the Scramjet just takes that to another level.
Jesus.
You don't get the plowing capability the Vigilante has, or even the missiles. But just for pure fun, it's like the rat truck arena vehicle. This thing is just, if you just want to have mindless fun with some buddies, you get this car. It does cost a lot. I think it's like $4 or $5 million. So definitely, you're gonna need to grind or buy a shark card for it. But if you have the money, the Scramjet is one of the most fun vehicles in the game. It jumps, goes really fast, and it has rocket boost. So you can do all kind of crazy flips and land in the weirdest places. But to be warned, you'll probably end your journey in this vehicle by landing in the water. I'm pretty sure that's how I've destroyed this vehicle every single time I've driven it. But before that, it was a ton of fun. At number 8, I wanted to throw this vehicle in here. It's definitely only going to apply to a few people, but for those people, this is the best vehicle, the best aircraft, the Pyro. The Pyro is the best jet in the game. I think it's the fastest, it's the most maneuverable. You can pretty much dodge any missile in it. It does have missiles to shoot back. It looks pretty cool. And I don't believe it costs a whole
Oh God.
that, but I don't think it's like super crazy expensive. I know it's not like the laser. It's not $7-8 million. But the Pyro is the best PvP aircraft in the game. If you're looking to just buy one aircraft, one plane, and be done with it, because maybe every once in a while you go up and
Swipe up.
in the air and you just don't want to get killed, then the Pyro is the one you're going to want to get. But really, if you're not going up in the air the whole time, you can kind of skip this one. That brings us to number 9. And I'm throwing the Camacho in here. This may be kind of subjective, but I absolutely love the Camacho. This is my favorite off-road vehicle. It tanks mountains, which is rare for an off-road vehicle. You'd think off-road vehicles in this game would be good off-road, but that's not the case. The Camacho is one of the few that can actually perform really well off-road. And it's just a ton of fun to bring up to Sandy Shores, to bring up to the north of the map, Toledo Bay area, and go up mountains. Go over the sand in Sandy Shores, go over like the hills and stuff. You rarely will lose traction, you rarely will like slide down mountains. And unless you're going up like a 90-degree cliff, you're pretty much to get to the top of the mountain. And add that to the fact that this vehicle just looks awesome and it has a ton of customization. You can make it look unique while having fun off-road. So that's why I wanted to throw this in at number 9. And then finally, number 10 is split between 2 cars, because you'll notice on this list, I haven't put any supercars, or really any cars that aren't special. And that's because normal cars, like supercars, they're not really viable in GTA Online free roam. And in 2019, unless you're racing, it's not really necessary to own a super or a sport car. But with that being said, I wanted to put 2 of them on this list. And the 2 that I've chosen are the Devastate 8 for the supers and the Pariah for the sports. Now the Pariah is the best sports car in the game. I think it's actually the fastest car in the game when you don't account for like glitches and bugs that make cars go fast. Just on its own driving, the Pariah beats every sports car and it beats pretty much every single supercar. So if you're looking for pure speed, the Pariah is the vehicle you want to own.
So it doesn't look that bad.
Downside to it is that it doesn't really look that good, costs a lot of money, and it is kind of hard to control. But again, if you're looking for that speed, if you're looking for the fastest car, the Pariah is needed in your garage. Trust fitted. But then the supercar that I chose, the Devastate 8, the reason I chose it is because it's a new supercar that I think looks awesome, especially from the
An extreme vodka water.
back. You see the back when you're third person pretty much all the time. So having a car that has a nice back is definitely necessary when you're driving around. And the Devastate 8 actually performs really well. I don't think it's number 1 or 2, but it's like top 5, I believe, in terms of performance. And in my previous video, I had the XA21, and while that's still a fantastic supercar, it looks great, handles well, and performs well, the Devastate 8, I think, is a good bump up. So that is my supercar I have chosen. So that's the top 10 vehicles I think you should own in GTA Line in 2019. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. That's going to go for this video. Please drop it a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA Line content in the future. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.
Slowly but surely.
What common sense is actually wrong? You don't need to wait 30 minutes before going swimming after eating. This was just invented by public pools to stop people bringing food into the water, or by parents wanting to take a nap after lunch before having to keep an eye on their children again. My grandpa told a lie when I visited him, and my grandma in Florida. He said that the Florida law was that you had to wait 3 hours before getting in the pool after eating instead of the 30 minutes back home. He wanted a nap in the middle of the day. As a native Floridian, the least believable part of that lie is that Florida would regulate anything. Just throw your garbage in the parking lot. The cart people will pick it up. I mean, it's true, but at the same time, fuck you. Cart people. What? That's not common sense at all. People are just lazy. Same with movie theater witches. Fuck you if you leave your trash all over the floor because it's someone's job. That doesn't give you an excuse to be disgusting. Probably not the answer you're looking for, but the notion that darker roasts of coffee are higher in caffeine content. They're not. The caffeine gets cooked out the longer you roast the coffee bean. The lighter the roast, the higher the caffeine content. Edit. Lots of folks replied about the difference in caffeine content between roasts being negligible and discrepancies between the density/weight of the coffee bean when roasted. Read some of those replies for clarification. My point is dark roast does not equal more caffeine. And when I worked at the gas station, this guy's like, which coffee is the strongest? And I said in flavor or caffeine content, and he said both. And I told him to do our medium roast, and he said no, I want the dark roast, and years later I'm still bothered, because he thinks he's right. He's off somewhere in rural Minnesota thinking he's hyped the fuck up on his sludge coffee, and I hate it. Why would he ask though, if you're just gonna ignore the advice anyway? Doesn't deter someone from committing a negative act. Common sense would tell you that if a drug dealer is aware of a law that would sentence them to life in prison for dealing drugs, that they'll be less likely to deal drugs. However, research shows that people often don't consider the negative consequences prior to breaking the law. Research shows that it isn't the harshness of the punishment, but the certainty of it that deters crime. When you see an emergency vehicle with sirens on behind you, you should always slow down and move to the lane or shoulder to your right. This is exactly what you should do on city roads, but on the highway, you should never brake for an emergency vehicle unless they are pulling you over, or you're slowing for a stopped vehicle. Braking in front of an ambulance just slows them down and creates traffic jams. Maintain your speed and get your signal on, and merge as soon as you can. And for God's sakes, stop slamming on your brakes to avoid a speeding ticket when you see a cop. Just take your lead foot off the gas and slow naturally. Driving with y'all is scary. If you know you're speeding when you see a cop, braking can tip them off because they see both your nosedive and your brake lights. Do not, ever, wait 24 hours before filing a missing persons report. If you have a reasonable suspicion that something happened to someone, call immediately. In crime shows, when they say the first 24 hours are crucial in a missing child case, they are not making it up. Just because you're not fat doesn't mean you're in good shape. I've been vegetarian for 15 years. Everyone thinks this means I eat healthy. I don't. My diet is mostly pizza and pasta, and whatever microwaves faster than it takes me to eat it afterwards. You should spend 2 months' wages on an engagement ring as a marketing slogan. I heard an ad on the radio today. Some jewelry shop was offering 5-year payment plans for engagement rings. What a great way to start your marriage. 5 years of extra payments. I wonder how many people have 3 years payments left after their divorce. I lived with a guy who was in this situation. Extremely depressing. I had a friend that used his graduation loan from West Point to buy a ring. She said no. I also had a friend that bought a used engagement ring. She also said no. He then tried to use it again, received another no, and then pawned it for bar money. Ignore a bully, and they'll leave you alone. No, they just see a weak target. Smack the shit out of them, if they already made it physical. Note, it is morally acceptable to not punch when they've made it physical themselves. A lot of nutrition common sense is based on nothing, and or has never been proven. I chalk it up to the fact that the human body is more adaptable than anyone gives it credit for, and that goes for diet as well as a lot of other things. That, and people think they can find solutions through dietary inclusion/exclusions, or they look toward those things as something to blame health problems on. It also doesn't help that literally anyone can call themselves a nutritionist and write articles about nutrition. The average person sees that and thinks it implies credibility, but that would be a registered petition. Instead, there are tons of nutritionists out there spewing their own anecdotal experiences or personal beliefs as fact, when in reality, as you sort of alluded to, everyone's body is different, and beyond the incredibly obvious things, there are very few nutritional practices that will suit everyone best. Going outside with wet hair will not make you get sick. It will make you feel cold as hell though. Source: Am Canadian. Have shown that birds will abandon their chicks if the chicks are handled by human. No, they won't. Put the baby bad back. Edit. So about 73 people have told me this doesn't count as common sense. True, it's more of an untrue myth, but a nitpick. By nature of the term common sense, if it is wrong then you can't claim that it's common sense, can you? Not only will the parent birds continue to care for a baby bird, but it's also possible to trick them into raising baby birds that aren't originally from their nest if you sneak them in there. Source: Kung Fu Panda. Sometimes, when someone is having a bad day, it's better to just listen and agree, rather than offer logical advice. Just ask people if they want advice or they want to rant, then give them what they asked for. Rather than offer logical advice, just ask people if they want advice or they want to rant, then give them what they asked for. Put ice on a burn. Do not do this. It can rip the skin. Do put the burn under cool water immediately. Edit. Lots of people are giving advice in the comments, but cool water is listed on all of the medical websites including Mayo Clinic and WebMD. They now recommend lukewarm water, as cold water can irritate the burn. It's not irritation. Hot skin is still elastic, and shocking it with cold makes it contract and take on a deformed and more painful shape. Ribbit told me earlier today. Fish skin worked well on burns. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Psychologists actually showed that it's the reverse, which is why LDR are very hard. Out of sight, out of mind is more accurate. I think this is an accurate observation in short term for someone that you see so often that if you are apart for a few days then you actually miss them, because they are part of your routine. Think parents who read you a story every night, but have to travel for a day or two for work or a family emergency, or friends at school you talk to on the daily about everything, and then fallen sick, or a resso you had dinner with every night who goes on a business trip for a week. Technically you miss the interaction until a new routine settles in. Tilt your head back during a bloody noses all the time. Always have, and the amount of times I'm just sitting there minding my own business with a tissue to my nose and somebody, usually older adults, walks by and tells me I should tilt my head back. No thank you. I don't want to flood my throat with nose blood, man. Just ask them why, and see if they can explain. I always thought the tilt your head back was just so you don't drip on things. That people are good eyewitnesses. We aren't. Our perception of things sucks. We are prone to so many biases that we aren't even aware of. If I grade papers on an empty stomach, I will grade them lower than if I'm not hungry, and I will never admit that to be true, even though it is. I was told a story by my forensics teacher a few years ago. It's been some time since I've heard it, so some details are fuzzy. My forensics teacher was going out with friends one day. After a day at the mall, their car was only one of a few in the parking lot. It was late, I should note, so they all hurried to the car. As they were about to drive away, a drunk guy came up to the car and pulled a gun on them. Keep in mind that they all saw the dude's face. They got away fine and reported the incident to the police. When asked to describe the perpetrator, all three of them gave a different description, despite the fact that they all saw the same guy at the same time from relatively the same angle. Human brains are weird. Now think about how many people are behind bars, only based on eyewitness. Don't go to bed angry. Me and my husband ignoring this rule has saved our marriage. Do you know how many stupid fights are caused by being tired? That's why I prefer the rule. No serious talks before 8 AM, and after 10 PM. Arguing when you're tired is not a good idea. For more spicy memes just like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out our other videos, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, I'm a human. Oh, well, with the Discover It card, you automatically waive your first late fee. That's awesome. Yeah, it is awesome. If aliens weren't invading, I'd be super pumped right now.
Late payment forgiveness with Discover It. Catch the Lego Movie 2 on Blu-ray and digital.
What's up, everybody? H.True is here. Today we are playing a sponsored video for Saber Interactive on a game called War Z. This game features a 4-player co-op game. It's very chaotic, extremely chaotic, because swarms of hundreds of zombies, thousands of zombies will try to climb up walls. They scale up walls and they try to eat your brain. On release, the game will also have PvP, which I think sounds fun. I can't wait to try it myself. It will be player versus zombie. So it's going to be in a zombie world. It's going to be like real life. You know, everybody's going to be fighting for the last piece of food on the planet. There's also 6 classes that you can level up as you play. And the more and more you use your favorite weapons, you can level up your weapons. There's so much unlockable stuff. Challenges, everything. This game was a lot of fun. We've already played it as I'm doing this intro right now. And I can already tell you that I think we are going to play it on release. Let us know in the comment sections. You let me know by hitting that like button on the video, because that's going to really tell me if you guys want us to play it on the release. If you're interested at all in this game, be sure to click the link on the link at the top of the description so you can get the game and play with your friends or yourself or whoever you want to play with. The game is on Epic Games, so be sure to use my creator code H2Delirious, because that's a good way to support me and get yourself a game all at once. Alright, so that's enough of the intro. I'm gonna let the game play. I'll catch you all at the end of the video. This is it. We can't get any closer.
No, the anti-aircraft guns will shoot us down.
Oh, no.
Apparently got AA guns.
That's very crazy. Well, now, AA guns could be automatic though.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Grandpa.
Hi, this is my father.
Yes.
This girl is my son.
Okay.
And you're my wife.
Oh, and who's this? Who's Gorilla?
That's my brother. That's my brother.
Oh, yeah, we're a family. That's why we're sticking together.
That's a family affair.
Family. Take out the zombies.
Take off.
They're just trying to take a bath. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, breach charge, guys. Breach charge.
Oh, shit. Take it out.
Do you think we can go over there? Yeah, could be like some valuables over there. Probably not. No, I'm going in!
Zombies in the distance.
Going in! Where's the zombies? Zombies
This way.
Oh my god, that is a lot of zombies.
Oh, the grandpa's down. Help grandpa.
Alright, yeah, we need. Guys, back up. Oh, nice, I found a rocket launcher right here.
Stop the big guy, please. Stop the big guy.
Hold on.
Use your thing.
Yeah. Hold on.
He's pissed. Hang on.
He's done. Shoot him.
Get him.
Yeah. I found a rocket launcher back there, guys. Yeah. Oh, they're still alive. Still alive, man.
I thought they were dead.
What's your favorite thing?
Oh, I stole his favorite thing. Yeah, I get it.
That's okay, that's okay. Ooh, I'm refilling my stun gun stuff. Oh, Uncle Daryl! Daryl.
We got to babysit Grandpa.
Right. Grandpa, equipment bag will reveal your item. Oh! Reach it clear, guys! Reach it clear!
Oh, yes. Watch out. Don't open the gate. Don't open the gate yet.
Oh, yeah, don't open the gate.
Grandpa just waiting. Nice. Grandpa,
I hear the hole. I hear the hole. Hey, what's this? Oh, free. Another rocket launcher, guys, right here. Someone get this rocket launcher.
We got two grenades in it. We open this.
Sparrow, back here. Or Gorilla, right here.
Good for grenades.
Hide you, Gorilla.
Nice.
Over here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, so what weapons do we got? I got it.
I should still got my SMG. Two rocket launchers.
Okay. Two rocket launchers. Oh, there's a big guy. He wants in.
Hang on, look at it. Look at it. Oh, you can't get it. Look at it.
Oh, he hit me. He hit me through it. He hit me through it. He's got friends coming, guys. Watch out.
Hang on, wait. I'm gonna throw a grenade. Back up.
You might hit Grandpa. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Good job, guys. Good job.
Hang on, I'm gonna put a machine gun down.
Stun gun. Yep.
Machine gun down.
Grandpa's aggroing. He's aggroing.
Grandpa's a champion.
There's a sniper rifle over here.
Oh, I got you. Oh, I gotta use this machine gun.
Help that.
Nice. Yeah, watch my back.
Yeah, I got a machine gun too.
I have a sample. Are you way over there?
Yeah, well, you guys can. We got each other's back, right?
All right, yeah, I got you back. Get on the machine.
Yeah. I need one of you guys. I need one of you guys to come over here and watch my back while I'm on that.
With the machine gun, dude.
Oh, they're coming up. Go.
Watch out.
Shoot this guy.
I got you.
Go.
Behind me.
I got him. There's a gas guy. I killed him.
Big guy, Bobby.
Big guy. I shot him a little bit. Yeah, I know. Horde of zombies in the ground. I got him. I'm dead.
Oh my God, you shot him.
I think I need to reload. Oh, reload it. Hold on. Can you reload? You just. Oh, well.
I think it might only be a certain amount.
Well, it's gone now. It's just.
Oh, I can fire the mortar myself.
All right, guys. I am beginning the battle. That wasn't even the battle. That wasn't even the battle. Firing the mortar. Holy God! Oh my God!
Holy shit!
Oh no! Fire the mortar! There's so many! I'm shooting the rocket launcher! There are so many!
I got a chopper. We're good.
God, that was a terrible time. Alright, shoot it. A lot of zombies over here on the left. They're coming up.
I got people on me. I'm blowing them. Blowing these zombies.
Blowing them up.
What they're trying to do? They're fucking trying to dogpile all this over here.
No dog palace. They're climbing on top of each other. Uncle Daryl. They're not alive. They're dead. They're living dead. Okay. I want this. I need to change my shotgun.
Oh my God!
Deploying a mortar. Big guy on the left, guys. Being electrocuted.
Oh my God!
There's so many. I don't have a good weapon. I need a better weapon. Well, it's not me.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh my God! All right, good trap on that side.
I need a better weapon. The shotgun is not my forte. You know what? I'm going here. I'm going now. I'll destroy you all. I'll destroy everyone. No one. I'll slice them all. You guys can't get them here. I'll destroy all of you. I'll destroy everyone.
Slice it?
Yeah, yes, I'll just slice it. That's it. Yeah.
And then you kicked in the face.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Hidden weapons over here. I need. There's plenty of medkits over here. Plenty of medkits. Yeah, there's 2 medkits on this side.
Phoenix, you there?
Phoenix? We have another order right here.
Oh, help! Go look at John! As soon as I heard you sigh,
Everybody reload.
Oh, that was Grandpa. I tried to kill Gramps. Oh, my. Whoops. I said that remember the vehicle.
Hey, we did it. We survived.
That was fun.
Yeah, let me shoot one more mortar.
Recharge by the way?
Let me shoot one more mortar off. There we go.
Does anybody have another recharge or just...
Wait a minute.
Big homie!
Got, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh yeah. There you go.
Good stuff.
Here you go. It's actually the floor's done, but that's fine. I'll take credit.
You should have stayed down.
Hey, let's look around. Let's look around just in case we're missing something.
Yeah, look, there's a canister we can open up.
Yeah.
Recharge.
Okay.
God, Grandpa has to use the knife.
Yeah. Keep looking around.
Grandma going in over here.
Yeah, there's right here. There's a breach charge right here. So I got.
You want to do the door? Let's do the container.
Yeah. Where's the container?
Right here.
Yes.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. We have 1 out of 3 choices right there.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody step back. Watch it be full of zombies.
Grandpa. Pull out the way.
Oh, wow.
Sniper.
Oh, God. You know, I'll like heavy sniper rifle. I'll take it. Another heavy sniper rifle. Primary SMG. Yes, I'll take that too. All right, guys. I am ready.
Wait, hold on, wait.
Give me up. Pop me out. Where you at? Oh. Hey, thank you, friend.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh man, we need that recharge. Open this door.
Oh, there's a zombie coming down. He fell. A symbol. So we're going upstairs.
Something over behind us.
You know, great. That's team for you. We're going to make you, get to where you need to be.
That's right. That you go home. That's what we're trying to get.
Oh no. There's a big guy down there in the middle. You see him?
Everybody got silent stuff.
I got silent stuff. There's a big guy. I got seen. Yeah, I got a silence gun. What are you talking about? Look at that. I see a silencer on the tip of my gun. Oh, there we go. Get out there. Stun. They just stun. Oh God. Help. Man, back away. I got a blade of death. Chopping hands off. Okay. I don't have any more shots. Not a shot. But I will melee him to death, and he doesn't know the name. I need to heal myself. I'm applying med kit, guys. I make it. There we go. Good. Sorry. Alright. Is there any goodies up here? Doesn't look like it. Alright, we gotta go with that thing. Let's go downstairs. Back away. Keep your eyes peeled for a breach of charge. There's a new primary weapon right here. Got it. Scout rifle. The rifle of scout. we reached that point. Yeah, you stole it. Listen! Oh my god!
With the last bullet before he really destroyed. How'd you do that?
Oh. Keep your eyes peeled though, because there's a breach of charge window back there, or door back there. God.
Before you do that, I'm gonna go out here.
I'm down here. Oh, there's a secondary revolver. Oh my goodness, a new pistol. Oh. There's a second. There's a second breach.
Oh god.
The second breach of charge down here.
Why did you do
What
that?
happened? What happened?
So
What happened? Yeah. Go ahead.
Nobody did anything. It just happened.
God, that's okay. Okay, I'm here with you.
Second round.
Here with you. I'm here with you. Now, watch your. Oh god, I'm sorry. Got you a little bit cartoons in the back. Alright. There has to be a breach. Oh, I think I see one. Hey, there's a heavy shotgun over here. If no one has a heavy, there's a heavy shotgun where I'm at. And a heavy RPG. Heavy sniper rifle. Heavy sniper. I'll drop this sniper rifle.
I got breach of charge. I got it.
I got the RPG.
Hey, Glitch, meet me at that door.
Meet me at the Dougie? Okay. There's another heavy. There's a grenade launcher right here. Heavy grenade launcher.
I'm getting chased by big boy.
Okay.
Where is he? I got a rocket launcher.
Big boy to our
Yep. God. Oh no! Oh no!
I got you!
You get him?
Got him!
They went flying.
amazing shot.
Right, so what door are you opening, Cartoon? You on this side.
Breach door. Let's go back here.
Well, just doing this side too.
We're supposed to interact with it. Boy, did you interact with this thing upstairs?
On the way through the turbine hall.
Alright. Close the door.
Okay. I don't think unless there's some charges for my gun, I don't think I need to go over there. Not you. If I just come run out there, what are you doing in here? Right here. It's a primary assault rifle. Okay. It does the job. I am ready. I am more than ready. I'm spaghetti. We go downstairs right here. We go downstairs right here, and then we turn around and we go up.
Oh! Grandpa saved me. Grandpa has the worst aim ever.
ready to interact? Are you guys ready to interact? Yes. Alright, I'm pressing the interact.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. We're trying to get to the gas station.
I'll try.
He tried to load the gas. No one pulls up. We're the best on the map ever. Guys, I found another RPG. I can hold it, yes.
Yeah, I'll be happy for you to have it. This is save my damn.
Oh.
More zombies down here at the bottom.
I found a combat shotgun.
They're coming up. Guys, we gotta reach the gas station. We need gas. Almost there.
What's up? Oh God, behind us! Help!
Run, Gorilla! Run!
Grandpa!
Run! Oh God! I got to lock the door! I got to lock the door! Oh my God! I don't have one.
I do have one. I can hear you.
Yeah, Gorilla's slow. Another horde on the ground. I'm going in. Going in to fight the horde.
Look at my wife. That's why I married you, Delirious. Right
Which reminds me of when we went to the jungle and we were chopping down the leaves.
All I needed. Yeah, yeet.
That was glorious battle. Alright, I need another heavy. I don't have the heavy anymore. Bro, you missed your heavy. The heavy shot.
I think I did one or two guys.
Oh, you don't blame us. Don't blame us.
So the way that big guy works, if he grabs you and then another 27 pounds behind him and attack you,
What was that guy trying to do?
I don't know. He's trying to sneak.
Trying to sneak us? I got 40 ammo left. I need to find an ammo box. Landmine.
I think we should start using all my heavy.
He said landmine. Hold on, guys. Back here. Ammo box. And extra help. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna. You hear me? Oh, you hear me? Thank you.
Look, see, I knew we were married.
Everything is yours is mine.
Oh God, I just had a heart attack.
I love the physics. I love the ragdoll physics. Okay. Alright, no, I don't want to have squirrel. So we get the hell out of the way.
I'm opening up the thing.
Open it up. They're still behind us.
Watch out,
landmine. Can we get this arm down, squirrel? We get this arm down. No.
Oh, let's see.
Oh God, they're coming. Back up. And who? Who am I stunning? Oh shit.
Oh my God.
There's a horde coming back there. That's what I'm focusing on. Yeah, back away. Grenade out. Nice.
Fire.
Nice. Gotta reload. Back off me, heathen. Spray and pray. I'll hold the front line.
Oh, look at they were stuck on the barbed wire dying. Why would we blow up the landmines? We could have just let the zombies.
Squirrel ran into them.
I thought I could.
Yeah. You never, you don't know nothing about Claymore.
I'm pretty sure I just killed a grandpa.
These guys look too far behind.
Some of these guys have their hats backwards and they look cool. Oh, what was that guy doing? Oh, we climbed the car. We climbed the car and go over. Genius! So genius it might work. Got it! Gotcha. Just started shooting you in the back. Alright, equipment field full over here. It's only for one person. Oh, the gas station, guys!
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Why can't we take?
I see something.
I got your back. I got your back. I got your back.
There's a lot of heavy assault.
How?
Get the hell! Get off of that! What do you think you're doing?
I must have not dropped. So we will load her. Yep, nope, that was the issue. I didn't drop everything off.
So many! There's so many! Oh! We're being surrounded! We're being surrounded, guys! We gotta save Grandpa!
It's bad.
Big guy.
They're going directly at me! Oh, there we go.
That's Grandpa.
Got him. Here we go. Back away!
Big guy's
Back
not
away!
charge, you guys. Big guy's not charge.
Yeah,
Behind you.
I got him! He's stunned! He's stunned! Nice! Nice! I got one more stun for another big guy, so...
Are you scoring on the stim package?
Nice, there's extra ammo right here. Extra ammo right here.
I don't like it.
Oh, yes.
Somebody I hear some screaming.
I want this battle.
Oh my god, guys, look.
Get a lurker.
Holy shit.
Oh my god!
Holy shit.
Is that for us? Is that for us?
It says to interact over here. We gotta interact with something. I'm going to
Find car park. We gotta find car park.
Okay. Before we do, can we search around? Maybe find some heavy weapons.
Did you guys see that fucking sea of zombies coming
Yes.
down?
It's still coming.
Yes, we need rocket launchers and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. He's just get away from this car. It's not yours.
Yes, fine. Yes.
Oh, guys. I found car parts. Found 2 car parts over here.
I got one, two, I got one.
I can't carry anymore. There's one in the back left.
Alright. Make it right here.
Left.
Squirrel, I have to make it to you. Come in.
Got my car park real quick.
Fight days.
Get the hell out of here.
Alright. Grandpa, here's your car part. Get out of him!
Getting touched.
Get out of him! Get out of him! Or did you get the car part? When the next board comes, I want to see that chainsaw.
They're climbing the wall, just so you know.
They are! Oh my god! Squirrel!
Down.
Squirrel, use the chainsaw!
Where's my chainsaw? There we go.
There's a screamer! Yeah, kill the screamer! Destroyed him. Destroyed. Destroyed, Bill, destroyed.
Grandpa died behind you, gorilla.
Someone needs to stay on Grandpa the whole time.
I've got a grenade out.
Oh god, that hurt.
Big guy right here. I'm gonna stun him. Stun. Yes. Stun. Help me. Big guy. Help! How many times am I gonna yell about the big guy?
I've been shooting him. There's a lot
He killed me. I'm down.
He's not dead. He's not dead yet.
He's not dead.
Hit me up.
He's dead. Grandpa's dead. Somebody get Grandpa.
Oh my god.
I got you.
I'm healing myself. I'm making it.
I'm almost there, Grandpa. You guys can kill these zombies behind me.
I got Grandpa.
I'll be right back. I gotta interact. Help me, please. I'm sorry.
Oh god.
He killed me. He's a lurker. He's beating me down. We gotta interact with this.
Reaction it.
Somebody try it again.
Grandpa not getting away from the fucking
Grandpa.
thing.
He's got one job is to fix the grenade.
Is there any more help back?
Died today.
Who's doing all the help back?
There's no more. I got Grandpa.
I got him. Grandpa, here.
Now we check Grandpa.
Last of the car parts. Last of the car parts are here.
I killed the screamer.
Oh my god. Alright, we gotta follow me. One person stay with Grandpa. Listen up. I have the wife here. One person stay with Grandpa. The other has to go back here.
Oh my sweet God!
Hey, well, two people stay in front, 2 people coming in the back. Come on. Oh my god! This is why you're with me. Okay. We gotta go around.
I gotta get some ammo.
Don't ask questions.
Alright, coming back.
How do we get in there? Right here. Opening it.
Still.
Oh, look at this.
Oh shit.
Hold on. I want to see what's in the other one.
That's the last
No, I'm opening the other one. I'm very interested. Yeah, I got this.
Is the truth. You get right side, I'll get left side.
Oh, squirrel. You want to look at the other ones real quick? They're back there having a hell of a time. Oh, yes. Yes.
It's just like my wife. Always shopping.
No! Can you crawl?
No, I can't.
Oh my God!
You're needing.
Oh yeah, dude. He's down. I got you. Don't worry. Wow, he had it trapped.
There's another way from
We gotta go safe. We're low. Hold on. Got her. Oh my God. Are you fully dead?
I'm turning into a zombie. I'm a zombie.
He's a zombie! He's a zombie! Put him down! Oh, no. Listen, I shot too much. I'm sorry. I got him.
Get with the last car parts, delirious. You have car parts.
Yeah. I do. Pick up that one. Pick him up. We're good, guys. We're good. We only...
Yeah. Oh, you guys are out there shooting.
No. I'm coming. I was gonna... You can get the squirrel's back. I was gonna look and see what he had.
Look at this, we can make another baby.
Look at how many zombies. Wow. Look at all the zombies.
That was intense as hell.
So, the reason Squirrel died, we opened the hangar and there was a turret that shot him right in the face.
The zombie set up fucking turrets?
Nah, there was a dead guy in there. It was his last defense. Oh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
All our shit together, and we killed like 1,700 zombies. That's insane.
That's not even the amount of how many zombies there really would be on the planet.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Really hard to do too much.
Level 3. Almost at level 4. Oh, level 4. Oh, yeah.
I tried to use the same weapon.
Okay.
I was wanting to try to level it up.
Yeah, I was using the pistol, but I mean, I got level 2 for my SMG. Hey guys, if you want more of this game on the release,
imagine a car designed to travel 100 miles on a single gallon of gas. Engineered to lead the way in energy independence. It will inspire you to rethink how cars actually work. Imagine the car of the future. We are at Mississippi State University, where we live true.
What's going on, you guys? My name's Ty Knotts, and welcome to Top 5 Unknowns. 5 unsolved ancient mysteries. Number 5. The Codex Gigas is the world's largest medieval manuscript to have ever been discovered. In more recent years, the book has been known under the pseudonym Devil's Bible, due to the book's rather famous full-page illustration of the devil. It's believed to have been created sometime around the 13th century in Bohemia. It contains a complete version of the Catholic Church's Bible, which was popularized in the 16th century. The book contains both Old and New Testaments, though in between the two are a group of additional texts not typically found in modern translations of the Bible, including additional chapters known as the Antiquities of the Jews, the Judean War, and St. Isidore's Encyclopedia, and more. According to many, the book is said to have been written by a single monk, known as Herman the Recluse, with most of the work being conducted in a monastery in the Czech Republic. The monastery was destroyed sometime around the 15th century, and records of the Codex seem to end in the year 1229. According to legend, the monk who wrote the Codex made a deal with the devil in order to complete it. The monk allegedly broke his vow with the devil, and is said to currently be in eternal torment because of this. The exact story claims that the monk promised the local monastery that he would create a book containing all the world's human knowledge, if they would let him live as a free man. However, the monastery requested that the book be written in a single day. The man then sold his soul to Lucifer in order to fulfill this promise, though later turned his back on it. According to historians, whether the legend is true or not, it has been confirmed that the book was written by a single person within an extremely small window of time. The book is also made from 160 animal skins and requires 2 full-grown men just to lift it. To this day, all of the book remains intact aside from 12 missing pages. The content of these pages has never been determined, and it's unclear why the pages would have been removed in the first place. Some have theorized that these pages could have contained secret satanic texts, or even instructions on how to conjure up the devil himself. Regardless, the real mystery is why the book would have been written in the first place, as there existed multiple other copies of the Latin Bible at the time, and also how a single person wrote the book in such a small window of time. Scholars have absolutely no idea, and for now, the tale remains a mystery. Number 4. The Sumerian Kings List is the name given to a large tablet created by the Sumerians, detailing all of the Sumerian kings as well as loads of personal information about them, including their time in power, dynasties, and locations of kingship. Sumerians believed that the power of being a king or queen was handed down by the gods. One of the strangest things about this tablet is that some of the early Sumerian kings have impossibly long years of power. For example, Nani of the Yor dynasty ruled for about 120 years. Hadanish of the Hazamasi dynasty ruled for 360 years. Several other rulers of the Kish dynasty are listed as ruling for 360 years as well. Others are listed for holding power for well over a millennium, and in some cases over 40,000 years. Historians are unsure of exactly how these people could have lived such long lives, especially while maintaining their kingship. Many religiously minded individuals have suggested that people simply lived longer back then, though science is yet to show us exactly how this would have been possible. Aside from the theory that our bodies were likely stronger back then, our DNA more pure, and many illnesses that would kill us today simply didn't exist.
She's got a great job. She needs the right parts. With free next-day delivery from AutoZone, she orders the parts online as late as 10 p.m., and we deliver them the next day, so she can get back on the
exist back then. To this day, the tablet is still baffling to many historians, and the true history of these rulers remains a mystery. Number 3. Easter Island is home to seemingly countless unsolved mysteries, though one that's particularly interesting is in regards to a series of writings or drawings known as the Rongo Rongo writings. These drawings were first discovered in the 19th century and appeared to be an early form of historical documentation using only pictures, similar to the Egyptian hieroglyphs. To this day, however, the Rongo Rongo writings have never been deciphered, and historians are baffled as to what stories they may actually tell. Numerous attempts to decipher the drawings have been made over the last 100 years or so, though virtually no progress has actually been made. Some have suggested that the writings could simply be a calendar, though others believe that it could be something more historically relevant, such as a genealogy. Another theory is that the writing could be entirely independent, and if this proves to be correct, these drawings could be some of the earliest independent drawings in human history. According to one scholar, Eugene Urov, the writings could be from the year 1200, but they feature similar designs to other religious material found in the area around the same time period, though no one knows what these religious symbols mean. The drawings appear to have been carved into wood using obsidian or even a shark's tooth, though again they don't really make much sense at all, at least not to the modern mind. Some have theorized that the tablets were placed on Easter Island by aliens, considering the abundance of other seemingly extraterrestrial activity that took place on the island, though for now the writings simply remain a mystery. Number 2. In the northern area of Laos, a strange and unidentified collection of circular containers were found on the countryside. The containers are believed to be at least 2,000 years old, and most historians' best guess is that they're some sort of jars, and that they've been involved with a funeral service, though this is a common estimation by historians that rarely proves to be true. All throughout history, researchers suggest that various historically significant items pose as tombs, temples, or other funeral-related items. The pyramids of Egypt are a great example of this. Historians portray ancient civilizations as being boring and death-obsessed individuals, having seemingly no purpose in their lives other than to fantasize their own deaths or mourn the deaths of others. However, this is almost always proved to be false, and oftentimes these mysterious devices have turned out to be some sort of incredible served a purpose that modern society simply can't even fathom, such as astrological research or even simple day-to-day tasks. But that's a video for another time. The series of jars have more recently been known simply as the Plane of Jars, and were constructed of sandstone weighing at least a ton each. Many of the cylinders were damaged by gunfire or explosions, as they reside near the place where the American Secret War was carried out. Today, as they're far too fragile. The site on which they're located is also riddled with bombs and landmines that have yet to be deactivated from the war. Number 1. The Sumer people, also known as the Sumerian, are believed by many to be the earliest known human civilization to have ever lived. They're widely recognized due to their exceptionally high skill level in areas such as agriculture and writing. The Sumerians are believed to have settled in what we now know as Iraq back in 5500 BC. One of the most shocking facts about the Sumerians is that at one point, one of the most prominent Sumerian cities housed over 80,000 people, a number that was almost unheard of at the time. The Sumerians are believed to have built at least 12 different cities, usually consisting of metropolis-like structures and pyramid-like temples. Constructed with marsh or makeshift bricks, with the plumbing system also believed to have been put into place. According to Sumerian historical documents, these settlements would have been ruled by one of many kings mentioned on the King's List, which we spoke of a moment ago. What's quite interesting, though, is that one of these rulers is actually believed to have been a woman. Even in leading a country is somewhat controversial, though I'll never understand why. However, the Sumerians were successfully being ruled by a woman way back in the year 2500 BC. The Sumerians are also credited as possibly being the first to have developed a type of beer, in addition to inventing the wheel, plow, literature, and even law. It used to be made from barley. Though the exact technique for this is relatively unknown, they're known to have drank the beer through a special filtration straw, the drink allegedly being highly nutritious and was sent to brunch. Though one of the strangest mysteries of the Sumerians is that they took virtually no credit for all of their inventions and engineering feats. They literally invented the wheel, yet no one took credit for it. Rather, all of their credit was passed on to 3 men. These 3 beings can be seen in seemingly countless Sumerian texts and drawings, and they're said to have been of the highest intelligence, with some historians claiming that these mysterious beings could have even bred with the Sumerians, creating modern humans. In fact, certain Sumerian statues seem to depict essentially less evolved forms.
This is one thing I wish is this over-encumbrance thing. Like, I understand it, but come on. Cut a dude a break here.
Overnight, pointed to some sort of divine intervention, proposing that these 3 mysterious beings could have been angels or gods that interbred with humans in order to create a more advanced species. The discovery has baffled scientists and historians for decades, and no one can seem to figure out how a race of people evolved so quickly, invented so many modern technologies, and thrived for so long, yet never took credit for any of their own discoveries. Rather, insisting that all of their work and technological advancement was carried out by 3 mysterious men who floated down from the heavens. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep updated with our videos.
To everybody that watches these gaming top 10s and everybody that is subscribed to the channel. It is not easy to make a good first impression with a video game after all. With so many games constantly trying to get your attention, it's not that hard to go try a game, not enjoy it at the beginning, and then walk away from it. But what about those games that nailed it with their first impression and then some? What is up, everybody? Chaos here. Today, we're going to be looking at 10 levels in video games. 10 video games that just snagged you up and totally captured you right out of the gate. Be sure to let me know What is your favorite opening level in video games in the comment section? Drop a like. This month's giveaway is for a new PlayStation 4 console. All you have to do to enter is drop a like on this video, be subscribed to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an upload. And in the comment section, let me know why you want to win the PS4 and include your Twitter handle so I can contact you if you're the winner. The winner will be announced at the end of the month. At number 10, A Rock in a Hard Place in Uncharted 2. That's right, we're going to kick off our list with a third-person action game that many consider to be the best in the series, even to this day. The first Uncharted game was a solid game, but it had a good amount of issues, almost all of which were actually fixed in Uncharted 2. That's the way to do it, right? Naughty Dog didn't waste any of your time, though. They started an exciting escape scenario for Nathan to deal with. You are stuck in a train. 1, 2, 3. Train that's dangling off a cliff, and you have to use your wit to find a way that will get you out of it without sending the thing and toppling down the side of a mountain. Plus, on top of all that, the improved visuals and controls from the original, well, it made you feel like a badass Nathan Drake. I mean, that's it. Right from the go, you were in the game and you were vested. At number 9, Camino Escape in Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Now, FU2, definitely isn't a very good game, but it had a pretty excellent start. In fact, I'm willing to say the beginning of this game is the best part of it, one of the best video game openings of all time. You awaken as Starkiller, a clone of the first game's protagonist on the planet Camino, before you start to remember the events of the first game, and then decide if it's time to bust out of there. Use the Force to break out of your containment, get your lightsabers back before getting into some extremely flashy and visually stunning combat with various stormtroopers, and finally get off the planet. The Force Unleashed 2 was heavily criticized for its combat being so repetitive and that just the style over substance that tag people put on it, but there's no denying the fact that when you first experienced it, it was a blast to use. It was just a shame that the fun wore off so quickly and the rest of the game couldn't live up to the opening 20 minutes. They literally, they hit you with everything in the first 20. Next up is a God of War for 2005, the old one. God of War is definitely one of the best hack and slash games of all time, and it's definitely had one of the best opening scenes to a video game ever made. Now, God of War doesn't waste any of your time getting you into the swing of things. You take control of Kratos on the deck of a ship, confronted by a ton of monsters, which it leaves you one option. Take them all out. You kill the monsters, progress through the ship, and eventually have this dramatic boss battle with a giant Hydra. God of War's first level gets you totally familiar with the mechanics of the game and establishes right out of the gate that this is going to be one heck of a ride. Now let's go even farther back in the timeline for number 7. Green Hill Zone in Sonic. The most instantly recognizable levels in gaming history. To this day, Green Hill Zone was the first experience you ever had with Sonic back in the day, and it is still one of the best worlds in the franchise's long history. You spawn in as the Blue Hedgehog in the sunny meadow as you run left to right, jumping over enemies and doing loops and spins all along the way before finally facing off in a boss fight with Dr. Robotnik. Now, plus, the music in this level is nothing short of iconic, and I'm willing to bet every single one of you recognize it. Period. It's how only modern Sonic games capture what made the original so good. Do you remember when you first played this, you started to get some speed through those loops? It was pretty cool. At number 6, Where Am I? Dead Space 2. One of the hardest things about making a horror game is making sure the player doesn't get too freaked out right at the beginning, but also doesn't get too bored because you took too long to get the scares in. Dead Space 2 gets this balance perfect. You start the game off as Isaac Clarke in a straitjacket after the events of the first game. By the time you figure out where you are and what has happened since then, well, you get a front row seat for a new necromorph outbreak as your friend Franco gets brutally turned into one right in front of your eyes. You then have to run through the ship as necromorphs destroy the place and kill everybody they see, all while trying to find a way out of the straitjacket and escape in one piece. If you need a good example of how to start a horror game, I highly suggest go try Dead Space 2 at the very first level because it stresses you out the second you turn it on. Cracking into the top 5 today, Prologue in The Last of Us. Now, The Last of Us is one of the most critically acclaimed games of all time, and for good reason. It tells a great story with fun level design and intriguing characters, but it all starts with a very extremely tear-jerking sequence in the prologue. As you play, well, you play as a few different characters during events right before the start of the infection's outbreak. You walk casually around the house as Sarah before you go take control of Joel, then you try to escape together amidst the chaos, and it all ends with, spoiler alert, Sarah's death and fade to black on the title screen. This is within the first 10 minutes of the game, people. Few games can make you shed a tear in the first 10 minutes, but The Last of Us pulled it off easily with this opening level, and it just makes me wonder, what are we in store for when The Last of Us 2 launches? At number 4, the UAC in Doom 2016. Now, the Doom reboot is a perfect example of how to do a video game reboot the right way. Other reboots are just lazy cash grabs for the sake of brand recognition, but Doom is a faithful adaptation of the original game's mechanics and level design style, and the opening level, the UAC, they let you know it. You awaken as the Doom guys, you break out of your containment, you venture out onto the Mars base, ripping and tearing through demons all along the way, getting used to the game and the way it's supposed to be played. Doom plays very differently from any other FPS game today, so the developers had to be sure the players understood this. But the opening level does an excellent job of making sure everybody was on the same page without having to hold your hand or put you through some boring tutorials. Everybody hates those. You first jump in, you fight, and the game helps you along. Yes,
easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Don't worry, you Call of Duty fans, you knew it was going to be here. Crew Expendable and COD 4. This was the game that put Call of Duty on the map, people, in a big way. And it was a lot of people's first introduction to the series as a whole. COD 4's excellent campaign starts with a brief tutorial before dropping you into Crew Expendable, which is a nighttime mission that has you playing as Soap, the FNG, as you get with Price on a hostile cargo ship. As you try, I guess silently to start out with, try to steal some intel before the ship gets bombed and you have to make your dramatic escape. Crew Expendable was our first time really experiencing modern Call of Duty, and it was an amazing way to bring the series into the next generation. Plus, it's just a good level. It's a good level even to this day. Speaking of good levels, at number 2, Pillar of Autumn and Halo Combat Evolved. Just like Crew Expendable introduced us to Call of Duty, Pillar of Autumn introduced the world to Halo. Now, it's the first level of the Halo Combat Evolved campaign. It is everything you could want from a shooter level and more. It starts off, take control of Master Chief, learn a little bit about the world you're in, and the characters in it before the Covenant attack. You're slowly introduced to various enemy types and weapons before escaping the ship and setting foot on the Halo ring. Halo was a huge part of many people's lives, including my own with gaming history, and it started off exactly the way it needed to. If Halo had been so good, there's a good chance the Xbox never would have taken off, and console FPS games may have needed a lot more time to get a decent market, deserving of the number 2 spot. And finally, at number 1, I have to. World number 1 in Super Mario Bros. You all probably thought it was going to be on here, and it's arguably it's a game that saved the industry following the crash of the early 80s. Super Mario Bros. Was released for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985, and it was a side-scrolling platform that had you jumping from platform to platform and hopping on enemies' heads to defeat them in an effort to save the princess. It was a huge success, and the first level got you geared up to play the rest of it. Plus, World 1 of Super Mario Bros. Features that now iconic theme music that is basically the national anthem of video games. Super Mario Bros. Ended up selling over 40 million physical copies and helped bring the gaming world, helped bring gaming back in to the world. And I'm sure all of you have played it at one point in your life, whether it be on emulator, on the original NES. I need to know. I need to know the moment that you played World 1 of Super Mario Bros. What went through your head. There you have it, my friends. That is a trip down memory lane of some of the best opening levels in video games. Let me know which one on this list was the best, which one didn't make the list that should have made the list. And if you guys enjoy these, make sure you subscribe, turn on that bell and those notifications, so hopefully
you get these
in your sub box. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll be back soon.
That was a dragon. Alright, now what was I doing?
Brave. Or loved. Yes to Tecfidera. Tecfidera is a pill for
Yeah, I knew it.
MS
Hi.
that can cut relapses in half and slow the progression of physical disability. Tecfidera may cause serious side effects such as allergic reactions, PML, which is a rare brain infection that usually leads to death or
I am curious.
decreases in your white blood cells, and liver problems. The most common side effects are flushing and stomach problems. Your doctor should check your white blood cell count and liver function before and during treatment. Tell your doctor about any infections or other medical conditions. Tecfidera is the #1 pill for relapsing MS in the US. Saying yes can lead to possibilities. Are you ready to start saying yes? Ask your doctor about Tecfidera.
If you're anything like me, you enjoy a good game with a camera that follows the main character. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, third-person games to play in 2019. Number 10 is World War Z. Now, the most obvious comparison one can make is to Left 4 Dead. This is a third-person Left 4 Dead type game. However, with one big difference. The number of zombies that can be rushing you at any given time. This is a game that seems to exist because of that scene in the World War Z movie where the zombies climb each other. And that might sound like a negative comment, but I don't mean it as a negative comment. I mean that as a positive comment. And I'm not going to say that this is as good as Left 4 Dead, because A, I haven't beaten it yet, it just came out. But I am going to say that it's not really that far in my experience with it. It may go downhill, but I've really been enjoying it thus far. Now, some will likely look at this as a limited game due to its linear nature. However, if you, like me, are looking for something that scratches that Left 4 Dead itch, this does that, and then some. It's probably not going to replace Left 4 Dead, but it certainly carries that torch, I think, respectively. Like I said, World War Z just came out, and it's out for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Number 9 is Control. This is the latest game from Remedy, who brought us such titles as Quantum Break, Alan Wake, and Max Payne 1 and 2. Control very much looks like an evolution of the ideas that we're seeing in Quantum Break. However, the setting is very interesting to me. It's set in a skyscraper in New York City called the Oldest House, which supernaturally has a much larger interior than the exterior of the building. The protagonist, Jesse Faden, basically got supernatural powers after an incident in her childhood and is seeking answers. While seeking those answers in the government organization that's set up in the Oldest House, a supernatural foe invades and the events of the game ensue. The game is reportedly structured in Metroidvania format, and though there is a plot, it's also apparently designed for you to create your own personal narrative. Now, I don't know exactly to what extent that means. We've seen it mean various different things in the past, but in theory, the idea of having supernatural powers in a supernatural place and being able to basically go off and do whatever you want could be pretty darn fun. However, I am also quite interested in the story, too. I mean, it's a Remedy title, so it's going to have an interesting world that's filled with interesting people or entities, and I'm really looking forward to when Control comes out on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4,
oh, come on.
on August 27th. Number 8 is The Division 2. So, The Division 1 kind of launched in a state that a lot of people weren't happy with. They did change things over time, and it got better, but I think that first impression didn't really help. Also, a lot of the content in the first game seemed unfocused, but fortunately, with The Division 2, a lot of lessons seem to have been learned. This is a game that is pretty well focused. It takes a little while to get going. The beginning is a bit corny, but once you're off and running, whether you're solo playing or you're matchmaking or you're playing it with a friend, it's just an engaging sort of wasteland of existing. The kind of wasteland that very recently became a wasteland. It's not that you're having to look for evidence of the society.
Dang it.
No,
How much am I over? Okay, that's not bad. I'm sure I can get through some of this.
That as far as gameplay and
maybe
how fun you have getting engrossed in this world. And someone who really wasn't a believer in
Dang
the first one, I'm kind of honestly converted a bit by the second one. It's not that it's substantially different, it's that the fat has been cut, so to speak. And if you absolutely hate the first Division, which a lot of people do, I don't know that you're going to like the Division 2, but if you were lukewarm to it or even enjoyed the first Division, or are just looking for a third-person shooter where you can roam and
a really well-developed world and get into a lot of interesting combat situations. This is that game. The Division 2 is out now on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. Number 7 is Gears 5, or for a lot of us, Gears of War 5, even though that's not the official title. This is an obvious continuation of the story that started in Gears 4, putting that protagonist this time. JD Phoenix, Delmont Walker, and Marcus Phoenix are all going to be in this game as well. And interestingly enough, Rod Ferguson, the studio head, said they felt like Gears 4 was kind of a Mad Max Fury Road situation where the story kind of centered on outsider Cade Diaz, who is of Locust descent, and they kind of just wanted to go further with that dynamic. I'm excited. It seems like it's shaping up as a second act in a trilogy, and Gears 4 was a really enjoyable experience. I'm not sure they're ever going to capture the lightning in a bottle that was the first couple games, but the fact is the franchise has staying power, and I think that there's still a lot of Gears story to tell. We don't have a date for Gears 5 yet, but it will be coming to Microsoft Windows and Xbox One sometime this year. Probably expect more at E3. Number 6 is Days Gone, an exclusive on the PlayStation 4 that at first glance, it looked a lot like World War Z was basically trying to do what Days Gone was doing, but as it turns out, Days Gone is pretty damn different in every respect other than it has large hordes of zombies that come at you all at once. Days Gone is a game that takes place in an open world. It's post-apocalyptic, and you'll be spending a lot of time just out in the middle of nowhere, experiencing a dynamic weather system, day and night cycle, with zombies called freakers that are stronger at night, and a motorcycle you only get one of, and let's say you run out of gas, you're going to be walking to the next gas station and walking back if you want to keep that thing for the rest of the game, and you probably do. Well, it does look like the wilderness is quite detailed and alive. It also looks a bit unforgiving. You won't want to always take things head on. A lot of the times you'll want to use stealth or lay traps or any variety of other actions you might be able to take. And let's be clear, that's very good. I like the idea that there's a lot of different ways to accomplish the goals in the game, and this is a game that I'm very much looking forward to. Days Gone is coming exclusively to PlayStation 4 on April 26th. Number 5 is Kingdom Hearts 3, the highly anticipated conclusion to the series. It's a game that is really dense with a very specific and sometimes impossible to understand lore that is, depending on your perspective, either a good thing or a bad thing. Now, I haven't beaten Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. It's a game that I have to take in small doses because I'm taking in so much information every time. It's just, I like to try to understand it, but I am still playing it, so that's a testament to how good the gameplay in the game is. Obviously, on the surface, Kingdom Hearts is an action RPG, but it has a very specific type of gameplay built around combos, combo moves that you pull off with other party members, and honestly, even if you don't understand the story, the combat, the music, the atmosphere, the visuals, just everything about the game is just so incredibly satisfying just to experience. It's one of those games that's just kind of a joy in of its own, and for something that you can explain to a lot of people as a convoluted story that is hard to understand is actually pretty impressive. Kingdom Hearts 3 is out right now on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Number 4 is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that this looks kind of to be the Force Unleashed 3 that we've all wanted, but at the same time it may not be totally extreme in the ways that the Force Unleashed was. For instance, what it looks like right now is something that plays with canon in the way that Rogue One played with canon as opposed to the way that Force Unleashed played with canon. That is to say, it looks to use something that has been established in the films to tell a new story. That story is of a Padawan who is in hiding after Order 66, the Jedi extinction event, goes down in the Star Wars universe. One of the things I'm particularly interested in this game is that it seems to be structured in a sort of chase film structure. You're hiding out working in a scrapyard when you're found using your force powers saving somebody in a workplace accident, and it triggers this manhunt. And for me, that's the kind of story I would love to play through in the Star Wars universe. That has me really excited, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will be hitting Microsoft Windows, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 on November 15th. Number 3 is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is a game that really goes down a fine wine. Now, it's not unfamiliar to anybody who's played a Dark Souls.
Alright, on to the next thing.
Just any From Software game past. A lot of that formula remains right here. The structure of the world. However, the notable switch up is in the combat and in your movement. At this point, the observation has been made a lot of times that it's a lot like a rhythm-based game, but the combat is oriented towards blocking, parrying, and attacking at very timed intervals that you have to figure out as you fight in order to break the posture of your enemy. And honestly, it's a really novel addition to the sort of way that Dark Souls works. I love the combat in this game, although it's very unforgiving. What else I gotta say I just absolutely enjoy the hell out of is the grappling hook. The games industry needs to take a more Okra approach with grappling hooks. Every game should have them. You have a grappling hook. You have a grappling hook. I'm of course exaggerating, but God, I love jumping around with the grappling hook in this game. It's also gorgeous, has beautiful music, and sound design is phenomenal. And if you have any inkling you'll like this game, you're probably right. It's out currently on Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. It's a must-play. Number 2, speaking of must-plays, Devil May Cry 5. There's not a lot of explanation needed as to what kind of game Devil May Cry is. It basically spawned lots of games trying to do that kind of hack and slash. This game takes place a few years after Devil May Cry 4, and let's just go ahead and say, in every way, it lives up to what Devil May Cry is. And let's just go ahead and say, like, the style of graphics that they chose to implement after a very long time between games, in some ways was a little bit of a risk, and I think it really paid off. This is a gorgeous game that benefits so much from indulging the stylistic elements of it, and the fluidity of this game, not just in the animation of characters, for instance, just the way everything is just feeling as though it's a constant flow. Now, even though the risks were taken weren't massive ones, and they did pay off, what we're left with is a Devil May Cry game, and it just comes off really well. It's a beat-em-up that is absolutely worth the wait. Devil May Cry is out on Microsoft Windows, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 now. And number 1 is Resident Evil 2, the remake. I mean, you could go back and play Resident Evil 2, the old version, if you really wanted. There's nothing stopping you from doing that in 2019, but let's just go ahead and say that this remake is just something special. It's basically an entire reimagining of the game. In some areas, there's little liberties taken with the story to make it flow a little bit better, and I think it does. A lot of the time when we get that kind of a thing happening, the streamlining ends up not being that great, but here, I'm really satisfied with basically everything that they've changed and everything they've kept. The experience is technically totally different. It plays much more like a recent Resident Evil game as far as the actual controls and camera, but the more survival-oriented, resource management-oriented type gameplay elements are as plentiful as in the original, which is, in my opinion, one of the things that needed to stick around for this to be Resident Evil 2. What I would call the Resident Evil 2 remake, either to somebody entirely uninitiated to Resident Evil or as an old long-time fan, is just a massive achievement. It's just a brilliant game, and I think everybody should at least try it. Resident Evil 2 is out now on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. A couple of quick bonus games for you. The first being Judgment, a game that's both a spin-off of the Yakuza series as well as retaining the director. It is currently out in Japan. It's going to be hitting worldwide on the PlayStation 4, June 25th. Watch Dogs 3, which is a very likely E3 announcement. However, we obviously don't have any information on that. That is speculation on our part. However, given the timing and the fact that Watch Dogs 2 was a lot more successful than the first, it's probably fairly informed speculation. So let's look forward to that. The Surge 2, which is very much kind of techno Dark Souls and does definitely have its own identity, but owes a lot to that franchise. It's a lot more colorful, a lot more electronic, and the sequel is coming to Microsoft Windows sometime this year. Shenmue 3, which is the long-awaited final installment of the Shenmue series, which is something that I think nobody was ever really sure if we were ever going to get, but it's coming to PlayStation 4 and Microsoft Windows on August 27th. And finally, Biomutant, which is an open-world, kind of mascot, platformer, hack and slash, but kind of not. It looks a little more serious than that, and has character creation capabilities. Honestly, all the footage I've seen has made this game very enticing. I'm excited to play it, and it's coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows sometime this year. What third-person games have you played this year, and which ones are you planning to? Also, which of the games we mentioned are you most excited for / have enjoyed the most? Leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and if you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, FalconHero, and we'll see you next time right here on Game Rings.
In case the internet wasn't cringy enough already, welcome to r/there wasn't. Have an argument. Why are you photographic trains? Do you work for the rail company? Are you the media? It's a hobby. There's a crap ton of people who do it for fun. Not just here in the US, but around the world. So it's a hobby. Why can't you enjoy it in the privacy of your own home? Because trains don't run through my home. You want to go on vacation? Why not just do it from your couches? Flawless logic, Dan. Thank you for really just participating. I was 16 when I first experimented with eyeliner. My step-grandfather called me and then made me use a chainsaw for the rest of the afternoon in an attempt to man the queer out of me. I'm still queer. Now I could build the gayest log cabin you ever did see. I always find the manly stereotype hilarious. I'm straight, right? But some of the built, strongest people I've ever seen in my life are gay. Simple as that. So you're telling them, man the hell up, yet most of us are gonna get punched to death by gay people. Fact. They can grate my face off in their abs. Simple as that. End of story. I know it's the weirdest, compliment you're ever gonna hear, but it's true. BBC Yorkshire, we have an important question. Christmas cake with or without cheese? Why do British people always eat like they're in the 1800s and don't have electricity? Why do Americans eat like they have free healthcare? Oh, I gotta go get Easter. Yes! Which term do you use to currently describe your gender identity? Male, transgender female, transgender male, gender non-conforming, non-binary, or prefer not to answer? I'm gonna go with different identity. Female. They did so well to be inclusive, and then they missed female. Swing and a miss, Chief. Swing and a miss. The elusive other female. Oh, I just love Uber too much. I can't stop ordering Ubers to my house and have them drive me to the nearest bus stop. I call another Uber to go to the next one. You bring up a valid point. Uber. Venmo. Someone's addicted to Venmo. Someone's addicted to giving other people money. There's no porn size here. There's wrong. Take these pills back. Get more. There's no porn size here. This is wrong. Want to know what people are addicted to on the internet? Go for the biggest It's porn. Oh, what the? Okay, let's hang on. My daughter loves to sleep with her butt in the air. It was the cutest thing. I thought she was in a microwave. Okay, I'm not alone. That was the first thing I thought of. But make some pancakes tonight. Put the pancake and this is the perfect example of what I look like from the outside compared to what I look like from the inside. Happy and joyful with your dose of depression. You want to know how I got these scars? Good answer. To rob a jewelry store as a 9-year-old. Oh, let's have a look at this. There he goes. What's he got? Knife, gun? Oh, he's got a full-on gun! Oh, please get out of my way. No retaliation, no panic, just hit. Come on. This man has just ruined this poor child's ego. Like, first off, he's pulling out a gun, and he just sets it on the table. I know the kid's 9 years old, but if he's gonna rob somewhere, at least do it right. Don't put the gun on the table, point it at his face. Come on, kid. Get better. At this point, I'm just egging on a 9-year-old how to rob stores better. Influencer. No. I like going to Walmart for fun. There's no need to capitalize every single word. We'll move on. It's the small things word. What's your favorite thing to do at our stores? Steal. Attaboy, Burke. You tried, Walmart. You really did. Did they just get murked? Comments. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. These comments are fantastic. My bro's tattoo didn't turn out so good. Ooh, no. The first thing, I doubt it's your brother, you're just stealing from the internet, okay? You're not a frick, Jerry, okay? Second thing, I understand in the right picture it looks like a different of them, okay? But look, that thing got some shine to it. I fired it. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking. I realize that it's a child holding his thumb. I think, yep, yeah, it's time. Yeah. Oh, look at the time. Wow, I gotta go. Just like there was an attempt, so was that joke. Not cutting this out, and thus we move on together as a happy, happy family. I can't read this convo alone. Maybe you should. It's a conversation with just you. You should read it alone. Where are you? I left early. Sorry I couldn't stay on you. What? Where are you going? I'm going home. Are you kidding me? Come back! You're drunk! Don't worry, I called an Uber. We drank at your place! Oh, where am I going? Oh, wow! You gonna do the voice anymore? This dude's so hammered he went to get an Uber from his place to go home. Oh, bless the man. Get the driver on the phone. Honestly, it could be 100% fake, but it still gave me a good laugh, so who really cares? When I was 16, my parents commissioned my granddad to paint a picture of me to raise my self-esteem. It did not. She looks like she's dead. Like this is purgatory. If you get a photo shoot when you go to purgatory, kind of like when you go to like the Eiffel Tower, you know, some kind of crazy tower, and green screen, and you gather around in your family and take a photo. This is what this is. It's a tourist photo of purgatory. That as well if you look like Angela from The Office, which is unfortunate considering you're wearing all white. Basically what I'm trying to say is don't get lost in a snowstorm. You will not be found to enjoy the outside. This picture perfectly represents when you're trying to test the waters and dynamic photo with their dog included. Oh no! The losing artist went left to right with this photo, got to the head and went, screw it, it's not my job, I'm not good with faces, and went, that'll do. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. Or it looks like one of those 90s cartoons that people have tried to make realistic, like SpongeBob, Patrick, Peter Griffin. It looks like one of those. Knock, knock, yo! No, that's not how it goes. You have to say, who's there? Let's try this again. Knock, knock. Okay, who's there? Honeydew. Anyway, what's up? Oh, this is funny. This is perfect. This should be higher up. Oh, so bad. Oh, so bad. Who doesn't know knock knock joke? How old are you? Not know what a knock knock joke is. I couldn't even finish it without laughing. It's just get information from an anti-vaxxer. I'm just trying to understand. Why would the government lie about such a thing? Just wondering. Please elaborate. Nah. At that point, I feel like it's just a fight with a 5-year-old. I have things to say. Go ahead. What's wrong? Dear Asian. Dogs lol. It's Xbox Live. What could go wrong here? You just caused a suicide. How do you feel? You're literally still talking. I'm doing it now. How should I do it? Hi, this is Ronnie's dad. Do you know Ronnie? Nope, he's dead. My baby's dead. So you found your son is dead and jumped on his Xbox. It's a valid point. Your child is dead right in front of you. You found out he's just killed himself from suicide. What do you do? Oh, I've seen this a million times. I'm just gonna let you watch it. This man's straight Sekiro. Dodging weave, dodging weave. Oh! It's just so good. Drinking his beer, he's still mid-drink. After he lets the drink go, slaps her in the face with his nachos, walks off. This man.
Everyone Google actor and count how many men come up before one woman. Holy
Or maybe if you typed in the word actress. I love when this Alexis Isabel girl.
dumb men, I'm gonna get him this time. Women will rule the world.
The message is always clear with Christ. Put your hand in faith and non-repentance. Let's have a look what Jesus said himself. Don't forget, according to this, it's a direct quote from the Bible. Are you addicted to masturbation? Reach out to me and we can beat it together. Direct quote, ladies and gentlemen.
Bitch.
Jesus himself. Stop masturbating.
Fuck up with that bullshit.
No. Well, what are you trying to achieve?
okay? People do it alone, they do it themselves, it feels good, it's a stress reliever, just because you think
God is watching. Oh, give me good repentance. Disgrace to my name.
Normally I try and stay away from politics and religion in my videos, but it was too good. It was a little gold mine.
I'll plant my SMG in your mom's face!
How many chromosomes do you have, kid?
More than you, fat shit!
Yep, that's the one. That self-roast is delicious. Yummy stupidity.
More than you, fat shit!
I also don't know why that word is now wrenched in my vocabulary. We're gonna go on. More than you. Fashioned? I'm gonna leave this bed. Like, you're gonna get in trouble if I keep going. When you're from the hoop, when you get a direct deposit. This is my car, okay? There's a lot of money in this car. I may not have dollar bills as my friends have, but this has a substantial amount of money that's direct straight to my savings account. It's also the fact that you just given out your credit card number to the entire world. Attaboy, though.
I really like this girl, but I don't know how to tell her. Just ask her to the movies this weekend. Do you want to go to the movies this weekend? No, I meant ask her. I just did. What did she say? I don't know. You tell me.
What do you mean? I feel for this guy. The lamp was there, everything was going smoothly, and earthquake right before it be unfortunate. I literally just sighed for him, exactly. It was so beautiful. The layout was so good. It's too bad she is a dunce. Cool is number one search item on Bing for the 28th straight month. You gotta feel for, Bing, Yahoo, and everything else. Someone needs answers to something. You say, Google it. Never has a single person unironically said, I wonder where this Chinese restaurant is. Hey, pick it for me? Where am I right now? Yahoo. What? I mean, to be fair, Yahoo really hasn't been saying since. Alright, I'm gonna leave it there. I feel too bad for humanity at this point to be picking. Thank you all so much for watching. Before you go, don't forget social media and everything. Thank you all so much on this series. Until next time, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll talk to you later. This video is sponsored by Saber Interactive. I played the game World War Z with Ballas, Delirious, Homewrecker, and as you're about to see, it's a ton of fun. Now, if you want to get the game for yourself, there's a link in the top description. I highly suggest you click on that. And even once you do get the game, leave a note, please, because it helps support me a little bit more. I really appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy the game. And peace. Alright, boys, we're in a fucking apocalypse.
Zombies everywhere.
Whoa!
Whoa! Hey, big fan meetup! Big fan meetup!
Fat ass gaming fan meetup in the center of New York, guys.
They're bringing the helicopter.
Delirious is also giving away free t-shirts.
Oh, that's right. That's not true. So we just called it a big fan meetup. Yes.
Oh,
but apparently, yeah, Nogla's fans are a bunch of zombies, and all of them infected all the other fans.
Idiots.
So now we have to escape the city. Okay.
Running from the fat boys.
I like it.
Nice simple plot. I got it, guys. Keep it going. Oh, zombies on the left, guys.
We're here. Man's here.
All right, just.
A little man. Holy shit! Why you do that? They want me to.
Guys, there's more.
Holy shit!
Who put their location on Twitter? Who put their location on Twitter? Since they know exactly where we are.
Get out of here, zombie!
Dang, you're a ninja. Oh,
boys, can you get me some nuts? Can I get some nuts? Breakfast oatmeal and nuts, boys. Oh, that's all, boys. There's the fan meetup, boys. They're coming.
Hey, what up? I went to the wrong location. Oh no, that's a Jake Paul meetup.
They used to be our fans, but then they turned into zombies.
We are not killing innocent people. No, we are killing dangerous beings.
I'm sorry.
Humans.
Boys, automatic turret defense kit. Let's go. I think we're getting ready for a big fight, boys.
Oh my God! You might want to come pick it up.
Oh my days!
Shoot.
Boys.
Kill him. There's so many.
My life as a bartender didn't prepare me for this.
Those aren't my fans. Those are not my fans, Delirious. Kill the zombie. Look at all of these.
They're no longer our fans, guys. Remember. Oh shit.
Hey, by the way, wasn't the turret facing the other way?
May not have been me.
Who did that? I'm dying in the back.
Oh shit, you are.
Delirious.
I'm coming.
He's straight ahead, guys. He's straight ahead. Go help him. He's straight ahead.
I got you.
Yellow guy. Behind us. To the straight.
He slipped on a banana peel.
Straight side. Boys. That's good. Alright, let's move towards the straight.
Yeah, let's go straight, guys. Straight ahead.
It says dead inside. Do not enter. Oh, large dude. Big guy.
You did.
Frag out. Oh shit.
Surviving the apocalypse up close and personal.
There we go. Everybody get this up. Did it. Oh. We did it. Yeah.
See you later.
Look at that guy trying to make a phone call before he died. This whole place is a museum.
Nice. We're gonna do some learning, guys.
Yes, learning. Oh, look, guys. We're coming to see this guy. Wow. Who's that guy? The zombie magician.
Hey, Evan, can you read some of that Canadian there?
It says hockey, maple syrup, maple leaf.
Survive an apocalypse without using a weapon.
Is that your challenge right now, Nothing?
Yeah.
Like when we get to a place where there's no zombies,
this is fine. Let's have a chat, Evan. You want to talk? Let's talk. Come on, Evan. Let's have a chat.
Banana guy.
Oh, guys, have it.
Let's talk, Nogla. Let's talk.
Yes, how's your day going? I'm getting slammed. I'm getting absolutely slammed. If you could shoot him, that'd be great. Thanks, guys.
Jesus.
Thank you, Ramon. Appreciate it. Oh, dude, they honestly look like my grandparents. I have a picture. I'm going to ask my mom for the picture. I'm going to take a picture, but like, those are my grandparents right there, boys. You see the resemblance?
And this is what we're fighting for. The zombie apocalypse.
We're fighting for my grandma and grandpa.
Lots of blood all over it now.
And this is Big Jiggly Panda's granddad. He's homeless granddad.
Oh yeah.
Homeless drunk granddad. Oh, Chainsaw, that's mine. That's mine. Oh baby.
Someone get this heavy sniper rifle. Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, baby.
No, save it for big horde. Banana, cut the banana.
Boys, you want to climb up here? Suggest not.
Holy shit.
Whoa! That guy got some nice hair.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
So many. Blow them up. Can you have a grenade thing?
I think we got grenades. It's awesome. I love the apocalypse.
Is your chainsaw over?
Meow, the Nogla chainsaw. Buy it now. Meow.
Oh, did I get it? Kobe! Yo! Whoa! Y'all see that?
As much as I like to be pounded on a Friday night, this is my kind of pounding. Guys, there's a lot of zombies coming!
Oh shit.
Oh Lord! mercy! Lord have mercy on my soul!
Oh no. Ah, rocket launcher!
Oh my days! Effing you downers both!
It was worth it. Oh god. Oh.
What are you doing? What have you done?
I did it for the views, no glove. For the views.
10 extra views for that. One nice one.
It's a great YouTube clip, man. What a view!
Oh! Not good! Someone get on this machine gun. I can't use it. I'm a pacifist. Get on the machine gun, Evan. I'll protect you. I'll protect you.
So many. Die!
Oh.
Colby! Yeet!
Don't let him get close.
There's so many zombies and I love it.
Oh.
Yes, we did it, boys. Easy.
Oh. I just got more ammo though.
Okay, no, sorry, Evan, fun's over.
Now you can save it.
Get it, boys.
Yeah, alright.
Woo! Helicopter's good to go.
This helicopter does not look good.
Nah, man, a bit of sellotape and, you know, a bit of glue. You're fine.
You're a good man. You're a good man. You're good as a man. Alright, boys. We're here.
Ready for another apocalypse.
Yeah. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, look, we got someone to help us. Hello.
Who's this?
As you can tell from his name tag, that's not him on his name tag.
Dr. Abraham Jeff.
That does not look
like Jeff. Dr. Abraham Jeff.
There it is. What a name.
Alright, guys, are you guys ready? Get someone go over there and begin battle. We're going to be fighting at the dam in front of us.
Oh, what? Alright, where's the battle? Where's the battle?
Just boom.
Boom.
There we go. Boom. Oh my goodness. You gonna see that? Oh yeah. Okay. Boom. Great job. Good job.
We got a lot of things going on over here.
Why are you grenading me? I just healed you.
Oh, here we go. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Oh, look behind you! I'm done! Y'all just watching me get pounded? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Great teammates. Wouldn't want to be in an apocalypse with anyone else.
What the fuck?
That was funny, huh? It was funny when you were down and your team actually saved you. Alright, boys, we're moving on!
Easy peasy.
We need some of those turrets and shit.
Yeah, boys, anyone got turrets?
The one with the car parts. You bring it to Jeff. Okay. Wait, Jeff down. Grenade out.
Thanks, man.
And there's someone else up here.
Thanks, man. How many else you gonna throw? You gonna hit zombies with them next?
Help. Burger.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh, to your fucking right. Oh my god. I'm almost dead.
Alright, delivering. Where's the last one?
Get back.
Where's the last one?
Alright, everybody get in the van. No! Hell, I'm to your right, to your left.
Get in the van! Get in the van, boys!
Get in the van.
I'm not complaining, boys.
What are we doing?
I'm driving away. Beep, beep.
We did it! Yeah! America!
Oh gosh, dude, I got swamped.
Hey guys, you see my baby? My back? He has a helmet on. What do you? Yes, he's in my bag. Yeah, he's in my bag. Yeah, you're okay. Why is he holding a grenade launcher?
Well, that helped. Let's go back and discover this place.
This one will take you.
I see friends.
I see Japan's underpants. Oh. I love Japan. I just can't wait to explore more. Oh!
Ah!
We got some boots. Chainsaw.
Ah, yeah, keep looting, boys. Keep looting. Oh, yeah. Take the loot, yeah. Oh, awesome. Like, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy. I'm beginning the battle, boys.
We'll
On this bridge.
ransack this place.
From Japan and enemy.
Save Japan. Save freedom.
Save the enemy, boys.
Holy shit. That's, oh, God. Banana. Did we save freedom? We saved Japan.
Now we save the enemy.
I am the last samurai.
Whoa, nice one, samurai.
There we go.
Nice one, last samurai.
What are we to a samurai?
Oh, we can go ahead and just do this now.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wow.
What the hell is
Good job, samurai. Well done.
Oh, yeah. We have to defend that.
Drop that chainsaw when you can, you useless fuck.
Oh, great. We're at the TSM.
Oh. Wow. They're never gonna let you do with that chainsaw.
Priority? First class? Hey guys, look.
Let me in.
There's a secret entrance.
Oh, fuck that.
All right. So we're gonna
Look at the shady sky. We are friends. What's he doing? Oh, yeah. Looking through shit that isn't his. Guys, look, look.
Shut up.
Amazing.
Amazing. Fire.
Oh.
Alright, boys. I put some explosive on there.
There are 6 more.
Hey, there's like 4 of you around me and I still managed to get hit. They're fucking incompetents.
6 more. Oh, launch guy. Nice, Nogla. You are so good for that
Thank you. I'm coming.
Stop thinking around.
Did it, boys. Let's open the door. And watch it blow.
Oh, don't forget this. Big Yachty. Where are these? You're on the front line. Oh God, I cannot shoot them. They're coming from Oh, they're coming from over there. Oh, wow. Oh, no, big guy. Okay.
Hold swarm until the ship is clear. Big Yachty.
That was a good joke.
Thanks. I'm a pretty funny guy.
You are hilarious.
Thank you.
Alright, last samurai time.
I'm going in, boys. Oh, well fucking done.
Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole.
Wow, okay.
Fire in the hole.
Yeah. This is fine. This is totally fine. Thanks, Evan. You may or may not have killed all your teammates. Good job.
Hey, man, I told you, fire in your hole.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, can you pick me up? Can you come pick me up? There's not a lot.
I'm at the front, almost dead.
Go, hurry. Get me.
You're almost dead.
Oh, for fuck's sake. End me now. I'm glad the apocalypse came.
Got him, guys. I got you.
This chainsaw's fucking awesome. Cotton, boys. I'm a one-man chainsaw.
It takes one person to the whole I didn't even get to use my chainsaw.
That's the start of Big Yachty's new single.
Another swarm? Coming back. He said Big Yachty. Chainsaw time.
I'll tell you what, delegate to Dick Harris.
They're still coming. We gotta get on the boat.
Get on the boat, boys. Get on the Big Yachty.
Get on the boat. He said Big Yachty.
That's so fucking funny.
I hate to tell you, but the whole time, we're getting a little yachty right here. We're not getting over yachty.
Wow, that's not funny anymore. Oh, we did it, boys.
Woo!
Oh, we get to see him blow.
Yeah. We did it.
Shit, I think I dropped my wallet in there. I forgot my
You want to go back?
Oh, look, there's cat over there.
Good place to be.
That's physically possible. The channel is actually online. It's one more managed this channel.
Think of a funny joke like mediocrity. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Alright. We'll store everything back in. Well, actually, we need to put that on and put those on. And we'll just go ahead and store those. And we'll go ahead and store all those.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe for more videos. As always, I hope you enjoy.
Yep, that's online. Alright, let's see how this looks. That actually doesn't look too bad, not gonna lie. Not the best, but not too bad. But we are gonna end it here. I will try and get them up tomorrow. I promise I'll have all day off. I won't be going into work later that night. I will promise I'll try and get these up tomorrow. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.